Malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 locos.
Si loco solo un poco. Hay tanta cosa de lo que puedo hablar, de crímenes o drogas, tienes que despertar. Si yo fuera el presidente me pondría a luchar contra la injusticia, para el crimen controlar. Ya estoy cansado de todo este desmadre, sería un milagro ver esto que se acabe.
Malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 locos.
¿A quién le dicen eso? Si loco solo un poco.
Malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 locos.
Seguirá, seguirá, muchas vidas cobrará. Nunca olvides que Dios a ti te juzgará. Si yo fuera envidioso y estuviera muerto, no te cuento mentiras, anduve en el desierto.
Malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 locos.
¿A quién le dicen eso? Si loco solo un poco.
Malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 locos.
¿Quién tiene la culpa? El amigo influyente, invitándote a sus paris, a los grandes banquetes, un toque, dos líneas sin faltar, la cerveza, la droga y el alcohol, no hay diferencia.
Malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 locos.
¿A quién le dicen eso? Si loco solo un poco.
Malditos locos, dicen que estamos locos, que estamos bien locos, 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 locos.
La cosa es seria, ya no alumbra el sol, la corrupción está.
And of course, you are listening it to, oh, I almost said it, but it isn't KXVS anymore. It is now the voice of San Joaquin, and it is TVOSJ. TVOSJ. I got to get used to saying that. But welcome to your community radio station right here off the Miracle Mile in Stockton, California. And now it is time for Divine Numerology. And guest is Rona Rivera.
Hello, how are you guys doing, everybody? Welcome to the show. Welcome back. We have on the station, show and she's going to be explaining to us what Reiki is and how this science, how this art is contributing to people's health emotionally. And she's going to be explaining not just emotionally, but physically, energetically, and exactly what her work entails. So I'm going to be asking her some questions. And welcome to you guys that are watching the show right now on my private feed in the back. Thank you guys for tuning in to the show all the time like you do. And, so first, I just want to say thank you for being on. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
This is everyone on my side that is watching and looking at the behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. So can you tell us a little bit about Reiki?
Reiki is an ancient healing modality that has now been introduced to the Western world. Many universities as well as hospitals allow Reiki into their facilities because it is helpful. It is helpful for patients to recover. Annually, St. Joseph's Hospital here in Stockton, they have a Reiki treatment day that I participate in. I volunteer my time there. And at that time, it is for the cancer patients, and for those cancer patients, we spend, I believe, 15, 20 minutes for each one. I'm not sure exactly how many cancer patients that we will have in attendance this year, but I believe it's going to be next month. But there's all sorts of different places that offer this.
Yeah.
Stanford Medical Center also offers Reiki for the different types of patients that have different types of illnesses. So what Reiki does, it does speed up the healing process, and it gives the patient a sense of calmness, and the energy that our person has is, I like to say it's similar to, the world in itself, the earth. The earth has a magnetic force, and then as for our bodies, we also have this force, and then Reiki translates into universal life energy, and so the Reiki master is the one that I particularly have the Reiki mastership with is the Usui, Macau Usui, and his type of Reiki style has been in existence for thousands of years. So I really enjoy working with Reiki, working with people.
Awesome. Awesome. What so you mentioned that the modality that you use with Reiki is called Usui, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that's like the traditional one, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first one.
To my understanding, I mean, I'm sure that's up for debate for some people.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But it is very effective from what I hear.
Yes.
And I the question that I should have asked to start with was if you could, tell us about you actually, because, this is everyone's first time seeing you, and sharing your light, shedding your light for people to be raising their frequencies, and that's what you're doing at this time, and I think that people probably want to know, like, who's that pretty lady next to Darius, what's she doing,
so
so yeah, please share with us, like, who is Rona, like, how did Rona get involved in Reiki, and what was it that attracted you to it?
I would say early on in life, I am Filipino, and I recall there was a friend of the family. She was considered like a healer, and so if anybody had any type of ailments, she would spend time with them, sit with them, and then place her hands on them and pray, meditate, and so I seen that early on, and I seen the effects of just two individuals being in close proximity with one another and having that positive intention of, wanting to help another person. So that's why there's also, I believe, like some other types of modalities having to deal with, like the healing touch. I believe that's also a name of it. But I would say, in essence, it's just that there's energy. There's energy everywhere we are. And so by having that personal intention to help another person, that was my early start with it. How Reiki became into my life, actually, I believe I stumbled upon it before I attended massage school.
Interesting.
But in a massage school, we did learn Reiki, and I completed my Reiki at that time, my Reiki 1 and 2. I also took a Reiki class here in Stockton as well prior. And then soon after, I became a Reiki master.
Nice. And now you can teach it.
And yes, I am a Reiki master teacher.
Awesome.
So, yes,
awesome.
So now I have that opportunity to teach it, and I
hear that, guys? If you guys want to learn, Reiki, you know where to go. This is where you can go to. So you said that you said it was your grandmother, right?
No, it was a friend of the family.
A friend, okay, a friend of my
yeah, that's okay.
Recall. So a friend of the family exposed you to Reiki, to that concept, to the healing touch.
Yes.
Were you always around these types of spiritual thoughts, or were you raised in a traditional religion, or what was your upbringing like?
My upbringing is Catholic.
Okay.
But I know that with even the Catholics, they have some that branch out. I forgot the name of it at this moment, but it's more of the spiritual side of it, but they consider themselves as well as Catholic. But to my understanding, I'm sure people will correct me if I'm wrong, is that they even speak in tongues.
Wow.
Yes.
In Catholicism.
Yeah, that branch of it. I forgot the name of it. It's
interesting.
Yes, but it's a form of Catholicism.
What's really interesting is that, because a lot of people don't know this, but I was reading about Reiki and reading about some of the origins of it. And there's this part in the Bible where Jesus, he pours out the Holy Spirit on the church.
Right.
And then everybody in there starts speaking in tongues. And then everybody in there, then they start laying on the hands and doing healing like Reiki, which is so interesting that that's actually, like, Reiki is actually in the Bible, like people doing it. Like they would always talk about laying on the hands. And the apostles, it's really interesting. That's why I think it's really awesome to have you on the show.
Thank you.
You know, because I know that not a lot of people exactly understand what Reiki is. So it definitely helps to have a master to be able to, you know, give us the distinctions, you know, because, you know, what are, just out of curiosity, what are some of the misconceptions that people might have about Reiki?
That
if there's
it
any.
is that it's from the devil, that it's a negative force. I don't think so. I mean, oftentimes if you just think of the simple fact when a child gets hurt, what does a mother or parental person usually do? They, like, you know, if they had a scrape or something, they just automatically like, oh, that's okay, you know, so immediately they already touched that person, you know, so I've understood it to be, even in that simplest form too, is that we innately have this, you know, wanting to take care of another person by having that form of touch.
Wow. It's like when a baby falls or whatever, they put the hand on the knee.
Right.
The mother kisses the boo-boo.
Exactly, and says,
away,
yeah,
you know?
that's okay, baby. And then let me just grab it, right?
Yeah, and then what happens? The pain actually goes away.
Right.
It works. It's like, oh, wow, they're just and then you talk about, yeah, see, we've been doing it ever since.
Yes, that is very true. However, so then I'm sure people are probably wondering, is that, well, then how is it so different if I already can, you know, touch a person, make them feel better?
Yeah, that's a really good question that you bring up.
So for this technique through Reiki, there is, just like in anything else, any type of subject you learn, there's different levels of it. So by learning that, then you have, in a sense, well, you are initiated into that. And then you do receive an attunement from it. By receiving that attunement is just pretty much just like, you know, so say, for instance, you're in school, and then once you hit a certain level, now you have your associate's degree.
Yeah.
And then after, you know, you continue your studies and you get your bachelor's degree, something like that.
Different levels.
Yes, there are different levels to it. So the first level is more of, it's just learning, giving you the introduction of what the energy is.
Okay.
It, you know, shows hand placements. And then Reiki 2 is having to deal with being able to send energy to people outside of your own space. So you can, it's called distance.
So in Reiki in the second lesson, they're actually doing kind of like a distance healing. And then number 1 is where it's hands-on direct. Okay.
But how I see it though too, I mean, in a sense, I think everybody is always healing people. You know, when somebody finds out somebody's hurt or something like that, they talk to you on the phone, and then you'll say, well, I'll pray for you, or, you know, let me go over there, let me take care of you. I mean, we innately have that caring perspective and wanting to help people.
Definitely.
So I feel that we're always sending out energy. So I bring that up because in case people were saying like, oh gosh, well, how is it that you could send energy? Well, all the times you're praying for a person that is clear across the United States, you're sending that energy. You're saying, oh, okay, I heard that you have this ailment. Well, I'll say a prayer for you, or I'm sending my love for you, something like that.
It actually reminds me of. See, I'm quoting the Bible today.
That's good.
It reminds me of that time where some people wanted Jesus to heal a family member, and he said, "Go ahead, it's already done." So
that's right. I remember that.
Then when
It's
they
like,
got
go
home, exactly, the person was already healed by the time that they
true.
got there. So he did a distance healing.
Exactly.
You know, and like, whoa, it's like, whoa, that's actually in there. That's crazy, you know.
Yeah, it's setting that intention, visualizing, who that person is, or, you don't even have to visualize a person. I mean, just by a person's name or something in relation to dedicated for that individual, or it doesn't have to be an individual. I mean, Reiki is also for animals. It's a healing energy. It's focused energy on a person or an animal.
And then so basically, like you mentioned, we have that inherently in our hands, but when you get this attunement, it kind of turns on a switch in there, isn't it in these like the palms?
So I would say the difference is that if you're not, if you don't go through the Reiki practice, then when like a mother takes care of their child, they're sending their own energy. So you can easily deplete yourself by always just sending your own energy. Reiki is a universal life force, so you're pulling the energy from the universe.
Wow.
So the universe is helping you take care of this person, this person, this person, everybody right now listening or watching.
So instead of the person using their own, it's them, it's the
connecting
universe.
With the universe.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Let's see. Here's this. So what are some of the benefits that a person receives when they're receiving Reiki treatment?
They have different sensations. Oftentimes it is that sense of calmness that they receive. So the patient sometimes will feel like a sense of warmness, a coolness, just depending on whatever their feeling sensation would be.
So that's like while they're actually in the treatment, they're going to be feeling like sensation. Is it a comfortable sensation? Okay,
yes, it is. It's a very
they're not
comfortable
gonna be, oh my God, what's this feeling? Whoa.
It's not like the electricity and they're not getting shot.
It's more
However,
like
you can.
Oh,
Well, if you think about Tai Chi and Qigong, that's really focused on the energy. And, you can actually make an energy ball. So, of course, I don't recommend people to do that because I've seen it firsthand where a person made a big energy ball for a person that had a very bad ailment. And then so if a person that person was not well equipped to receive that huge energy ball.
So they just have to be ready to receive it. Okay.
Yes,
okay.
but then what I thought was nice about that little scenario is that that individual, seeing that this person was really in need of energy, so this person, decided to, pull in a whole bunch of energy to give this person no. But at the same time, it's kind of like
they did a spirit bomb.
Yes, exactly. So I don't think but see, that's a beautiful thing about Reiki is that Reiki will go to all the areas of the person's body that is needed.
Okay.
So a lot of times people will feel it, or sometimes people are so much in their head that they don't feel it at that very moment, but afterwards they'll feel it. It lasts for quite some time, so it's very important to drink plenty of water because there's
Hear that?
H2O.
Drink your water. Drink your water, Danny.
So it's important to drink plenty of water, and then your body will release. It will release
See, I'm drinking water
any
now.
stuck energy as well.
So here's this. You also happen to be a massage therapist.
I'm whittling away from that.
Okay. So when you've done that, have you ever incorporated the Reiki energy in the massage therapy itself?
Yes, but it is with their knowledge.
Okay.
Because I am completely I completely believe in people's space, and you know, I mean, some people will say, well, you can't really turn Reiki on and off. Yes and no, though. I mean, you know, like I was mentioning when that person made that huge energy ball, well, that was very intentional. That was, you know, so so that's what I mean is that, I mean, I guess in a sense you could say that, well, since I'm a Reiki master, I think in a sense anything that I touch is I'm sending the energy. But at the same time, I'm not like, I guess in a sense, like cranking it up to like go give you full force. Though. I know, see, exactly. That's what's cool about it. That's just like some real life Dragon Ball Z.
Exactly.
So now let me ask. Here's this question. Thanks for answering that. Now when you and I first met, we met about a year or so over a year ago, back in 2017. It was back in 2017 where I was getting, wasn't it at a friend of ours, and it was like a Reiki share where we do these things called Reiki shares, and you did my Reiki, you did everyone's because we were all sharing, and then sometimes you would receive like a message.
Yes.
So
I would say oftentimes, if not 100% of the time. So my Reiki seems to translate a little differently than many others. The first time I took a Reiki class, the teacher just said, place your hands over the individual and, you know, you're just sending them energy. But she said after a allotted time, I forgot, like after 5 minutes, then she would check in with all of us and say, well, what did you feel? And so sometimes people say I felt a tingling sensation, stuff like that. For me, I got a clear message. So the message I received was, for example, something was going on with their stomach. Or like I remember one time this one lady, she's also a massage therapist. And I remember right when we were working on her with another Reiki master, that Reiki master says, is there anything specific you want us to work on, you know, or to focus on sending energy to? She says, no, I'm feeling fine. And then right when I put my hands above her, I said, no, you're not. I said, your throat. I said, you got something going on with your throat. And she's like, how did you know that? And
so you were able to feel into the energy of her energy and tell like, hey, look, you have a situation right here.
Right.
And it was her throat, so she wasn't expressing.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yes.
And so when you address that, then what happened?
Oftentimes people become a little startled because, you know, they're
They
like,
don't
oh, how
expect
did you
it,
know?
like,
Yeah,
whoa.
exactly.
Like, read my mind. Oh my God.
Well, you kind of had that same situation too when
True.
when I worked on you. You were a bit surprised, like, wait a second, what?
Yeah, I was like, whoa, didn't expect that.
You're like, who's this? How did she know this?
So when that happens, and they, I'll tell you, you know, from my experience, when I received the Reiki from you, it gave me some insight into some things I was going through in my life at that time. And just one little side note that's really interesting is, what is your birthday? Not that you don't have to tell the year. You're born in 2001, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, but what's the day?
August 15th.
And who else is born on August? You know who's born on August 15th? The founder of what?
Reiki?
Yes.
Mikao Usui.
So
sorry if I'm mispronouncing his name.
So we have someone born on the same day as the founder of Reiki.
So what does that tell you in numerology for, you know, for the two of us?
That for you and that Sanat Kumar, that wasn't his name.
No,
but Mikao Usui. Yeah. That tells me that you guys are resonating with similar energies. 15, 1 and 5 is 6. 6 is a healing number, vibration. 8 is power. 8 is strength. And so 8 is also divine connection. The infinite, right? And so these are certain qualities. The 8 with the 15 combined. That that creates a very, what's 8 plus 15? That's 23. 23 is a very magical number in and of itself. And so the founder of Reiki having that energy put into that art form, then naturally someone, I mean, it makes sense. And I think it really would, it sets kind of like a trend, especially if we were to take the list of people born on August 15th.
Mm-hmm.
I received my Master Reiki certification, the Angelic Reiki, on
Mm-hmm.
August 14th.
Mm.
And my Reiki cat was born on August 14th. So it's definitely a similarity within that time frame. It's like an energetic gateway around that time of the year, like a few days at that time. People that choose to come onto the planet at that time resonate with those particular energies is what I would get from that. So you and him are definitely resonating with similar planetary energies.
Nice.
And I say that if you are not channeling him already in your sessions.
Right.
So here's a question. I'm sure people are wondering this. How can they get in contact with you? Because you know what? Like, say someone's like, oh, man, I want to get Reiki. I want to, get my chakras aligned. I want to get, a message about what I need. Where I heard that you got started doing Reiki somewhere close by in, like, Tracy, right?
Oh, that's right. So I am offering my Reiki 1 and 2 class if you would like to learn how to do Reiki 1 and 2. That will be later on this month in March, and the name of the place is
Grateful Gatherings. So if you guys want to learn how to perform Reiki on others, how to do this healing on other people, Rona teaches it, and she's going to be teaching it at Grateful Gatherings toward the end of this month. If you guys want to receive that Reiki energy healing, you can also contact her. What's the best way for people to reach you? Right now, anyway.
I know. Do I get my number?
You don't have to. You maybe email or whatever works best. Or you want to just tell them? Yeah, we could just tell them. So if you guys want to know, then come by Grateful Gatherings, and we'll have all the listing of all the programs available for you. So you'll be able to pick and see what time, what day, what week works the best for you. And so that is what we have. Here's one more thing I want to ask. What's something that you would think that the world should know right now?
I believe
During
right
Mercury
now,
retrograde.
exactly, for Mercury retrograde is to really set your intentions right when you wake up. Set your intentions that you're going to do A through Z today, because that is important to just stay organized, because in Mercury retrograde you're gonna forget your keys. So I would say just prepare.
Yeah. Hey, that's right. You're gonna forget your keys. You're gonna forget people are gonna show up.
That's the thing. A lot of people will show up from your past, and just recognize that the people who are showing up from your past is more about a teaching lesson for you. Is that, are you going to still cater to this person? Because oftentimes that person hasn't changed and they are just showing up. The universe is just testing you. That, are you still going to fall back into that same routine by, bringing them back in your life?
And old patterns, right?
Exactly. So you want to use Mercury retrograde to really, in a sense, sever the ties. Sorry for that sounding so harsh, but it's important to move forward. You can't really move forward if you have all this clutter in your closet. Like, say, for instance, if you have a full closet full of clothes and you want to buy new clothes, how are you going to put those new clothes into your closet? You have to get rid of some of the old.
That is so true.
Right? So,
whoa, we got someone really cool just popped on right now. But anyway, go ahead.
Oh, no, I think that's the biggest message, is that Mercury retrograde is here for you to learn. If you look at it more as a learning tool, then I would say it would work best for you. Is that, when a person comes back into your life, you're wondering, well, why are they back? You know, you're going to have different feelings the minute you see a person from your past, and just stop and think, do you really want to invite that person back into your present? You know, because oftentimes you should, or everybody should, start really learning to move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move forward, so especially when it comes to old habits.
Right. I mean, if you are now at a pivotal stage of your life, you know, you completed your degree or something like that, and this one person pops back in your life that really prevented you from even going to school because they kept telling you, oh, well, I need you to do this for me, I need you to do that for me, or you know, maybe it's a boyfriend, girlfriend or something. They say, no, you have to do this with me. You have to do that with me. You know, do you want that pull? Do you want that cord? Do you want that person to just constantly tug at your space when you've already elevated? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, release that stuck energy.
And so that will help to move forward, right?
Right. I mean, just like with, you know, we're talking about Reiki, we're talking about energy, Feng Shui. If I'm saying it wrong, I apologize. But with that, it's about clearing the energy. You can't expect things to grow or for anything to advance if you're just still stuck in the same spot. Right. You know what I mean? Just like if you walk into a house and you just feel automatically, whether you're a master in energy work or not, you know, automatically right when you walk into a person's home, you feel, you know, like it's cramped or it's stuffy or something like that. But, you know, if you see a home that has a lot of plants and it's really clean and clear in there, you know, you feel welcomed. You feel like there's a light air to the space.
Funny thing you mentioned Feng Shui, because Feng Shui Master just popped on.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, so it's interesting.
I know a person that does Feng Shui as well, too. So it's very helpful. So
thank you for being on the show today and for, you know, enlightening us about Usui Reiki, what it's about, like its origins, and then how you know, your unique spin on it. You know,
I think you can find me on my Facebook.
Okay.
Yes, it's Rona Rivera Facebook, or just find Darius, and then Darius will link you to me.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
All right, guys. That is our show for today. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching every week like you always do. And you all have an awesome weekend. Thank you.
Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.
Sabor Latino, Monday through Friday, 4 to 6 with Eddie Ramirez. Eddie Ramirez, your host.
Para cantar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia y otra cosita, y arriba y arriba, arriba y arriba y arriba iré. Yo no soy marinero, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Cuando canto la bamba yo estoy contento porque yo me acompaño con mi instrumento, arriba y arriba, arriba y arriba, arriba iré. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán.
Qué bonita es la bamba en la madrugada cuando todos la bailan en la enramada, y arriba y arriba, ay arriba y arriba que arriba irán. Yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán.